Hi there. Here we are in Auckland, and I'm pleased to say that tomorrow we're coming out of our most recent lockdown. So I had a bit of a shufti in the cellar to see what I could find which would be exciting to look at. So today I'm tasting Condrieu La Petite Cote from Yves Cuilleron. So Condrieu, an appellation in the northern Rhône valley of southern France. One of the few appellations that is white only in that area, and specialising in a grape variety called Viognier. Probably a little over 40 years ago, Viognier was a variety that had fallen out of favour. It's a shy bearer, it's difficult to grow, and there were very few hectares of it left. Techniques for culturing it have improved, its flavours have proved popular, and today it's become much more widespread worldwide. Still not produced in large quantities, and as a result tends to be a little more expensive because there's a scarcity to it, but an interesting grape variety that a lot of people easily fall in love with because it's got some lovely warm, rich, opulent flavours. Viognier as a grape variety is very sensitive to its environment in terms of the styles of wines it makes. So you'll get a balance depending on how the winemaker decides to make the wine. Some producers will produce a wine that is elegant, delicate, light, perfumed. Others will allow the wine to ripen, the grapes to ripen for longer, giving the wine a richer style. There's a danger that it can then become overly alcoholic and lose acidity and just be a bit too fat and flabby. Cuilleron traditionally much more at the rich style of that, but let's have a taste of the wine and see. Just looking at the colour, you've got quite a deep yellow, almost with a greenish hint, and I don't think it's just that I can see the grass behind it there. Quite viscous as you swirl it. It clings to the side of the glass. Smelling it, the aromas are restrained at first, and you've got some notes of sort of stone fruit, apricot, ripe peach, but also there's a floral note, almost like the perfume of lilies. There's a slight sort of almost sickliness to it. It's a sickly sweet sort of aroma. So there are plenty of aromas, but they don't really jump out of the glass at you. You've got to search for them. On tasting it, the wine is rich and ripe. It's quite full and it's quite structured. Again, I come back to sort of stone fruit, that sort of ripe apricot, ripe peach in terms of flavours, but also in terms of textures. There's a velvetiness, almost like sort of a peach skin. There's an oily texture, almost like you get with sort of a very ripe stone fruit just below the skin, and that sort of oily richness. There's a warmth from alcohol. The wine is labelled as 13.5%. It might be a tiny touch over that. It could be up to 14 legally with that designation. The flavours last really quite well. There's a slight there are notes of almond, marzipan, and a slight bitterness on the finish from the phenolics that are in there. But actually, there's a sort of richness, a slightly honeyed roundness to the finish that lasts really well. It's a wine that's got a lot of intensity, a lot of richness, and sort of really delivers. So, yeah, if you get the opportunity, try yourself a Condrieu. As I say, this is a 2018, so it's got a nice richness, nice amount of age to it, but probably not a long future ahead of it. So, enjoy. I know I will. Bye now.